Welcome to The Explainer. You know the drill. We take complex crypto topics and break them down into something you can actually use. Today, we're going to tear into the Base blockchain. We'll start with the tech under the hood, then check out who's actually using it. After that, we'll get into the practical stuff, how to get your assets there safely, and the big one, a head-to-head playbook for your Ledger and Tangem wallets. Finally, we'll wrap up with how to keep an eye on everything. All right, let's jump in.
First up, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What's the architecture that actually makes Base tick? And how does it stack up against other Layer 2s out there?
So Base is built on what's called the OP stock, which makes it an optimistic rollup. Now, why optimistic? Well, it's because it literally assumes transactions are valid right off the bat. Think of it like an honor system. It bundles a whole bunch of transactions off-chain and just goes, yep, this all looks good. This is what makes it so fast and cheap. The proof part only comes into play if someone raises their hand and challenges a transaction.
Okay, so this optimistic approach puts Base in the same family as Arbitrum and Optimism. It's totally different from ZK rollups like ZK Sync, which check everything up front. Now here's the catch for you, the user, that withdrawal time. When you want to move your funds back to the main Ethereum network using the official bridge, you've got to wait about 7 days. That's not a bug, it's a feature. It's a built-in waiting period so that anyone can challenge a fraudulent transaction. Security first, but speed second.
And this is a really important point to understand about Base, at least from now. It's centralized. A single sequencer, which is basically the thing that orders all the transactions, is run by, you guessed it, Coinbase. Now, this was a deliberate choice. They did it to crank up the performance and get things running smoothly right from the start.
And this slide just lays it all out, the classic crypto trade-off. The pros? You get lightning-fast transactions, that almost instant feeling. It's a way better user experience. But the cons? Well, they're pretty big. You're trusting a single entity, Coinbase. That means there's a risk of censorship. What if they decide not to process your transaction? And it's a single point of failure. If their sequencer goes down, the whole network could pause. It's speed versus decentralization, plain and simple.
So, we've talked tech. Now let's see if all that speed is actually attracting real people and real money.
So, how do you take the pulse of a blockchain? You look at the on-chain data. It's not just about how many transactions are happening each day. You got to look at the number of active wallets. Are new people joining? And more importantly, what are they doing? Is there serious trading volume on the DEXs? Are people actually using the applications and generating revenue? For Base, the answer to all of this so far has been a resounding yes. The early numbers show this isn't just hype, there's real demand.
And you can't have a healthy ecosystem without places to trade, right? Look at this. Heavy hitters like Uniswap are already seeing massive volume on Base. This is huge. It means there's deep liquidity, and it shows that traders trust the network enough to move some serious capital over.
Okay, so the ecosystem is buzzing. You're sold. You want in. But how do you actually get your funds from, say, Ethereum over to Base? Well, that's where cross-chain bridges come into play. And I got to tell you, this is where things can get a little scary.
Yeah, moving assets between blockchains, it's a necessary evil. But it is, without a doubt, one of the weakest links in the entire crypto space. You're essentially creating a doorway between two separate digital nations, and those doorways are prime targets for hackers.
And don't just take my word for it. Look at that number. Over 2.8 times billion dollars stolen from bridges. That's nearly 40% of all the money that's ever been hacked in Web3, all from this one vulnerability. This isn't just some small risk. It's a massive, glaring security problem. So understanding how to do this safely is, well, it's everything.
So you have two main options. The official Base bridge is the most secure route. It basically takes your ETH on the main net, locks it in a vault, and gives you an IOU on Base. Super safe. But remember that 7-day waiting period to get your original ETH back? That's the price of security. Then you have the third-party bridges. They're way faster, almost instant. But they use different tech, like liquidity pools, and that introduces a whole new set of risks. You're trusting their smart contracts and their validators. It really is a direct choice. Do you want speed, or do you want maximum security?
Okay, enough of the scary stuff. Let's get to the main event. You've got your Ledger, you've got your Tangem. Let's build a practical, step-by-step playbook for using them on Base.
If you're a Ledger user, you're in luck. It could not be easier. Base is treated like a native asset, right inside Ledger Live. You don't have to mess around with adding custom networks or anything like that. You literally just open the app, click Add Account, pick Base from the list, and you're done. It's seamless.
Now, with Tangem, it's a bit of a different dance.
Tangem itself doesn't have a built-in browser for dApps, so what you do is use a clever piece of tech called Wallet Connect. This lets you securely link your Tangem wallet to another piece of software like the Rabby wallet. So Rabby becomes your window to the dApp world, but your Tangem card remains the vault. Every time you need to approve a transaction, you just tap your card. It's a two-part system, but it's incredibly secure. So let's put them side by side. The difference is pretty clear, right? Ledger gives you this all-in-one, closed ecosystem. Everything you need is right there in Ledger Live. Tangem is more modular. It gives you the flexibility to use other powerful tools like Rabby. There's no right or wrong answer here. It just comes down to your personal preference. Do you want the simple, integrated, Apple-like experience, or do you want the more flexible, mix-and-match Android-style approach?
All right, let's talk about actually moving money around. The absolute easiest way to get started is just to withdraw from an exchange like Coinbase. When you hit withdraw, just make sure you select Base as the network and send it straight to your Ledger or Tangem address. Simple. Moving funds between your two hardware wallets, that's just a regular crypto transaction. Copy, paste, send. And when you want to use a dApp, you connect your wallet, double-check that you're interacting with the right contract, and then sign with your physical device. The key is that your private keys never leave that hardware.
Okay, so your funds are on Base. You're swapping, you're staking, but how do you keep tabs on everything that's happening?
You've got a whole arsenal of tools here. For the raw, unfiltered truth, you can use a block explorer like BaseScan. Just pop in your address and see every single transaction. If you want something a bit more hands-off, you can set up alerts with a service that will literally send you a notification the second your wallet has any activity. And if you just want a clean, simple dashboard to see all your tokens and NFTs in one place, a portfolio tracker like Zerion is perfect for that.
And that brings us to the big question. Base has this massive goal: onboard 1 billion users to crypto. And its fast, centralized design is perfect for that. But the heart of crypto is decentralization. They do have a roadmap to decentralize the sequencer over time, but will they move fast enough? Can they balance that smooth Web 2-like user experience with the trustless principles of Web 3? That's the tightrope they have to walk, and honestly, the future of the network depends on it.